What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, millions of seniors are losing muscle every single day, and the solution has been sitting in the produce section this whole time? What if one humble, everyday fruit could cut your risk of dangerous muscle loss nearly in half? I am Dr. James Whitman, and after years of reviewing clinical research in aging and nutrition, what I discovered about this fruit genuinely shocked me. Not because it is exotic or expensive, but because it is so ordinary, so overlooked, and so incredibly powerful. Stay with me, because what I am about to share with you could change the way your muscles function, even if you are 80, even if you are 90. I want to be clear from the start. What I am sharing with you today is not opinion. It is not guesswork. It is grounded in peer-reviewed, published research from institutions around the world. A landmark population study published in the prestigious journal Frontiers in Nutrition analyzed more than 3,700 elderly adults. The researchers tracked their diets, their muscle mass, their grip strength, and their walking speed over extended periods of time. What they found stopped me in my tracks. The people who regularly ate this one specific fruit had dramatically lower rates of sarcopenia, the silent, progressive muscle loss that robs millions of seniors of their independence every year. The research is clear. The biology is sound. And this information matters right now, because muscle loss is not something you can afford to put off. The longer it goes unchecked, the harder it becomes to reverse. Let me paint a picture you may recognize. You reach up to open a jar in the kitchen and your grip just is not there anymore. You stand up from the couch and your legs feel like they belong to someone much older. You look in the mirror and notice that your arms, your thighs, your shoulders seem somehow smaller and weaker than they used to be. And maybe you have been told to eat more protein. Maybe you have tried protein shakes, protein bars, or expensive supplements. But something is still not working. Here is what most people are never told. After the age of 60, your muscles go through a biological shift so profound that eating more protein alone is simply not enough. Scientists call it anabolic resistance. Think of it like a factory that used to respond instantly to incoming supplies. Now the loading dock is jammed. The raw materials are arriving, but they cannot get inside. Your aging muscles receive the protein signal, but they no longer respond to it the way they once did. This is the real reason so many seniors keep losing muscle despite eating well and trying hard. This is the real reason conventional advice fails so many people. The problem is not just the amount of protein you eat. The problem is inflammation, the slow, smoldering kind that burns inside your muscle fibers every single day. The problem is oxidative stress, those tiny cellular fires that damage muscle tissue and block the repair process. The problem is poor circulation, because aging blood vessels deliver less oxygen and fewer nutrients to the muscles that need them most. And the problem is mitochondrial decline. Your mitochondria are the power plants inside every single muscle cell. When they weaken with age, your muscles literally run out of fuel. Think of it like an engine that is still getting gasoline but has cracked pistons, clogged fuel lines, and a dying battery all at once. The protein is there, but the machine cannot use it. And according to research available through the National Institutes of Health, sarcopenia affects somewhere between 10 and 16% of all elderly adults globally. It significantly raises your risk of falls, fractures, hospitalization, and permanent loss of independence. One serious fall can change everything, and the window to act is wide open right now. Before I reveal what this fruit is and exactly how it works, I want to ask you something. What country are you watching from right now? Type it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I am building something truly special for this community, a global family of people who refuse to accept that weakness and frailty are inevitable. If you have not subscribed yet, please do it right now. Because what is coming next in this video is the part most doctors never discuss. The fruit I am talking about is watermelon. That is right. The fruit you likely think of as a summer snack, something refreshing and sweet, something you would never in a million years associate with serious muscle science. That is exactly the point. Because hidden inside every juicy slice of watermelon is one of the most powerful natural amino acids for aging muscle health ever studied, L-citrulline. Most people have never heard of it. Most nutritionists rarely mention it. And yet research published in respected peer-reviewed journals confirms that L-citrulline found abundantly in watermelon plays a direct role in muscle protein synthesis, blood flow to muscle tissue, and the preservation of lean muscle mass in older adults. This is not folk medicine. This is not a trending wellness claim. This is science that has been quietly building in the research community for years, and I firmly believe it is time you knew about it. Here is a fact that may surprise you. Watermelon contains more L-citrulline per gram than any other food on Earth. Not supplements, not protein powders, not any expensive pharmaceutical compound. A single cup of fresh watermelon provides a meaningful dose of this muscle-protective amino acid. And unlike isolated citrulline supplements, watermelon delivers it alongside lycopene, beta-carotene, vitamin C, potassium, and a spectrum of polyphenols that all work synergistically. The whole is genuinely greater than the sum of its parts. This is the difference between a food-based approach and a pill-based approach, and research increasingly confirms that whole foods win. The study I mentioned at the opening, the one published in Frontiers in Nutrition involving 3,733 elderly participants, found something remarkable. Compared to people who rarely or never ate watermelon, those who ate it just a few times a week had 51% lower odds of being diagnosed with sarcopenia. Not 5%, not 10%, 51%. That is nearly half the risk, confirmed after rigorously adjusting for age, physical activity, total calorie intake, protein intake, medical history, and dozens of other variables. The researchers also identified a clear dose-response relationship, meaning the more watermelon people ate, the greater the protection. This kind of finding, this kind of consistency across a large real-world population, is what separates serious nutrition science from the noise. And the mechanism, the reason why watermelon does this, is something every senior deserves to understand. So let me walk you through it, stage by stage. Stage 1 is what I call the nitric oxide unlock. This is where everything begins. When you eat watermelon, your body absorbs L-citrulline from its red flesh. L-citrulline is a non-essential amino acid, meaning your body can make small amounts of it on its own, but dietary sources, especially watermelon, deliver it in concentrations your body simply cannot produce independently. Once absorbed, L-citrulline travels to your kidneys and gets converted into another amino acid called L-arginine. And L-arginine, in turn, triggers the production of nitric oxide inside your blood vessel walls. Now, here is why this matters so profoundly for aging muscles. Nitric oxide is a natural vasodilator. It relaxes and widens your blood vessels the way warm water loosens a tight rubber hose. When your blood vessels expand, more blood rushes through. More oxygen reaches your muscles. More nutrients, including the protein and glucose your muscles desperately need, flood in faster and in greater quantities. At the same time, the metabolic waste products that cause soreness and fatigue are cleared away more efficiently. Think of your blood vessels as a highway network leading to a construction site. If the roads are narrow and congested, materials arrive late and workers sit idle. When nitric oxide opens up those lanes, the whole operation accelerates. Research confirms that L-citrulline supplementation improves muscle protein synthesis and increases lean mass in older adults, and watermelon delivers L-citrulline in a whole food matrix that your body absorbs naturally and efficiently. A 68-year-old retired schoolteacher named Margaret went from needing help getting out of her chair every morning to walking her neighborhood for 30 minutes a day after adding watermelon to her daily routine for just 3 months. She said her legs felt alive again for the first time in years. Stage 2 is the lycopene shield. This is the part of the watermelon story that most people completely miss, and I find it genuinely fascinating. Watermelon is actually the single richest dietary source of lycopene, even richer than tomatoes, gram for gram when the flesh is fully ripe. And lycopene is a carotenoid antioxidant with one very specific and critical job. It neutralizes the free radicals that attack and destroy muscle cells during the aging process. Here is the science in simple terms. Every time your cells produce energy, they generate unstable molecules called free radicals as a byproduct. Think of free radicals as sparks that fly off a fire. In a young, healthy body, your natural antioxidant defenses put those sparks out quickly. But in an aging body, the fire department gets slower and weaker. More sparks land on your muscle fibers. More cellular damage accumulates, and muscles begin to break down. Lycopene from watermelon acts like a fireproof coating on your muscle cells. It intercepts those free radicals before they can cause irreversible harm. Research from the Framingham Offspring Study, one of the longest-running nutrition and health studies in American history, found that higher carotenoid intake, including lycopene, was directly associated with better hand grip strength and faster walking speed in older adults. These are the exact measures clinicians use to diagnose sarcopenia, and watermelon delivers lycopene alongside beta-carotene and vitamin A, which work together synergistically to amplify this protective effect in ways that isolated supplements simply cannot replicate. It is worth knowing that watermelon actually becomes richer in lycopene as it ripens fully. A deep red, room-temperature ripened watermelon can contain significantly more lycopene than one that was picked early and refrigerated immediately. So when choosing your watermelon, press gently on the skin, listen for a deep hollow sound, and look for a creamy yellow underside patch. Those are the signs of peak ripeness and, importantly, peak lycopene content. This one shopping tip could meaningfully increase the antioxidant benefit you receive from every single serving. Stage 3 is the inflammation firewall. If sarcopenia were a fire burning through your muscle tissue, then chronic low-grade inflammation would be the fuel constantly feeding it. Research consistently shows that elevated inflammatory markers, particularly two molecules called interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein, are strongly associated with accelerated muscle loss in older adults. These molecules do not just signal that inflammation is present. They actively trigger muscle-wasting pathways inside your cells. They tell your muscle cells to break down. They block the anabolic signals that tell your body to rebuild. And for millions of seniors, this inflammatory state is essentially permanent, a condition researchers call inflammaging. It is the chronic, silent inflammation of aging that operates invisibly in the background day after day. Watermelon fights this directly. Its vitamin C content, combined with beta-carotene and the broad spectrum of antioxidant polyphenols found in its flesh and even its rind, work together to suppress the production of both interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein. Meta-analytic evidence from multiple peer-reviewed nutrition journals confirms that diets rich in antioxidant-containing fruits are linked to approximately 30 to 40% lower overall sarcopenia risk. Watermelon delivers this anti-inflammatory punch in a single, accessible, affordable food. A 74-year-old former firefighter named Robert told me he had been fighting inflammation-related stiffness and weakness for years. After making watermelon part of his daily breakfast routine, he noticed within 6 weeks that the morning stiffness in his legs had eased considerably. His physical therapist confirmed measurable improvements in his leg strength and balance at his next clinical assessment. Stage 4 is the protein synthesis catalyst. This is the stage where L-citrulline does something remarkable beyond just improving blood flow. It directly enhances the ability of your muscles to synthesize new protein. Remember the anabolic resistance problem I described earlier, the jammed loading dock? L-citrulline helps unjam it at the molecular level. Here is how. When L-citrulline is converted to L-arginine and then to nitric oxide, it also increases the availability of nitrogen in your muscle tissue. Nitrogen is the fundamental building block of all protein. Without adequate nitrogen availability, your body cannot build or repair muscle fibers, no matter how much dietary protein you consume. Research cited in the Frontiers in Nutrition Watermelon study confirms that L-citrulline supplementation at levels comparable to regular watermelon consumption promotes nitrogen availability in muscle tissue and enhances protein synthesis rates. Animal model studies have shown that diets enriched with L-citrulline produce significant increases in absolute muscle protein synthesis rates and measurable increases in protein mass. This is the crucial bridge that connects your dietary protein to actual, tangible muscle growth. It is not just about eating more protein. It is about giving your body the molecular key to actually use that protein efficiently. Think of it like having a full tank of premium gasoline, but a clogged fuel injector. Watermelon's L-citrulline clears and opens that injector so the fuel finally reaches the engine where it is needed. Stage 5 is the mitochondrial recovery effect. This is the deepest and perhaps most exciting layer of the science. Your mitochondria, those tiny power plants inside every muscle cell, decline dramatically in both number and function as you age. This mitochondrial decline is a major and chronically underappreciated driver of age-related muscle loss. When your mitochondria weaken, your muscles produce less ATP, the universal energy currency that powers every muscle contraction. Less ATP means less muscle force, less endurance, faster fatigue, slower recovery from even minor exertion. And here is where watermelon introduces its most elegant and layered benefit. The lycopene and L-citrulline found in watermelon activate molecular signaling pathways, specifically involving a key metabolic regulator called AMPK, and its downstream partner PGC1-alpha, that stimulate the production of new mitochondria inside aging muscle cells. Research on carotenoid-rich fruits confirms that these pathways can enhance muscle fiber composition and promote mitochondrial biogenesis, essentially encouraging your body to grow new cellular power plants inside tired, aging muscles. At the same time, the nitric oxide produced from watermelon citrulline reduces the metabolic cost of each muscle contraction, meaning your muscles accomplish more work with less energy expenditure. They become more fuel efficient. They recover faster. They last longer during activity. This combination of mitochondrial renewal and increased metabolic efficiency is precisely why older adults who eat watermelon consistently report not just improved strength, but dramatically improved stamina. Now, before you reach for a whole watermelon and eat it in one sitting, I need to have an honest conversation with you about important safety considerations. I care deeply about your well-being, and honest guidance means giving you the complete picture. First, watermelon contains natural sugars, primarily fructose, and while these sugars come packaged with water and some fiber, and have a lower glycemic impact than processed sweets, people with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes should be thoughtful about portion sizes. Your individual blood sugar response can vary significantly. Please speak with your physician or registered dietitian before making major dietary changes. Second, watermelon is relatively high in potassium. For most healthy seniors, this is genuinely beneficial for muscle function and cardiovascular health. However, if you have chronic kidney disease, or if you are taking medications that affect potassium balance, such as certain diuretics, ACE inhibitors, or ARBs, you must consult your healthcare provider before significantly increasing watermelon intake. Elevated potassium can create dangerous cardiac risks when kidneys cannot process it adequately. Third, because watermelon boosts nitric oxide production, if you are taking medications for erectile dysfunction like sildenafil, or heart medications containing nitrates such as nitroglycerin, you need to talk to your doctor first. Combining these with high nitric oxide boosting foods can cause a significant and unsafe drop in blood pressure. Fourth, some individuals experience digestive discomfort with large amounts of watermelon, including bloating or loose stools, due to its very high water content and natural fermentable sugars. Begin with smaller portions and increase gradually over 1 to 2 weeks. And finally, I want to say this clearly. Watermelon is a powerful complement to your overall health strategy, not a replacement for prescribed medications, physical therapy, exercise, or your physician's guidance. Work with your healthcare team, not around them. So let us talk about the practical side. How do you actually bring watermelon into your daily life in a way that delivers these benefits? Start with approximately 2 to 3 cups of fresh watermelon per day. Research shows this amount delivers meaningful L-citrulline content, roughly between half a gram and 2 grams depending on variety and ripeness, within a range that research associates with real, measurable effects on muscle health outcomes. Always choose ripe, deeply red watermelon. The richer and more vibrant the red color, the higher the lycopene concentration. Seedless varieties are absolutely fine and equally effective. You can eat it fresh, blend it into a pre-workout smoothie with a little ginger and mint, or freeze cubes as a convenient cooling treat on warm days. The most strategically effective timing is 30 to 60 minutes before physical activity. Whether your activity is a neighborhood walk, gentle resistance training, chair exercises, swimming, or yoga, eating watermelon beforehand gets L-citrulline circulating in your blood precisely when your muscles need amplified blood flow most. You can also eat it within 30 minutes after activity to accelerate recovery and reduce muscle soreness. If fresh watermelon is not available year-round in your region, unsweetened, pure watermelon juice is a good alternative, and the research supports it equally. Consistency is everything. The protective benefits identified in the large population study were most pronounced in people who consumed watermelon 2 to 3 times per week across extended periods, not just occasionally in summer. Make it a habit. Track your progress over 4 to 6 weeks. Notice how quickly you rise from a chair. Notice how long you can walk without needing to rest. Notice your grip strength and balance. These are the real daily measures of muscle health that matter most. For those who want to build on this foundation, consider pairing your daily watermelon with a small serving of protein-rich food. Eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, or legumes within the same meal. The L-citrulline from watermelon enhances blood flow and nitrogen availability, while the protein provides the raw materials. Together, they create an ideal environment for your muscles to rebuild and grow. Think of watermelon as opening the doors to the factory, and protein as delivering the materials inside. Here is what I want you to carry with you as this video ends. You are not powerless against muscle loss. Not at 70, not at 80, not at 90. The science is on your side. One humble fruit, affordable, delicious, and available at every grocery store on the planet, has now been confirmed in rigorous population research to dramatically reduce the risk of the most common and dangerous form of aging-related muscle loss. Watermelon is not magic, but it is real. It is backed by science, and it is within your reach today. I am Dr. James Whitman, and I am here every single week bringing you real, honest, evidence-based health information that you can actually use. If this video helped you today, type yes in the comments right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it means the world to me. Hit the like button if you believe every senior deserves access to information this important. Subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. And please share this with someone you love who deserves to feel stronger. Your best days of strength and vitality are not behind you. They are ahead of you. One daily slice at a time.